What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Just want to let everybody know that tonight I will be live on Bad Dog Sports for Talking Giants. Hopefully I see some of you guys on over there for that as we continue that series during the offseason and hope that we have a regular season this year. We're going to have to wait and see how everything plays out. But in this video, I kind of wanted to jump into an article written by NFL.com. Wanted to give a quick shout out to Brian Latari, who pointed me to the article on Twitter. So, Brian, thank you for being a great subscriber, and thank you for giving me the idea to make this video. And I think it's a great topic. I thought it was a really cool article that was written by Gil Brandt of NFL.com. And what he did was, the title of the article was 12 players whose teams should never let them go, whether it be trade, whether it be letting them hit the open market. And Saquon Barkley was on that list. As a matter of fact, he was the only running back on the list. But the one thing I will say, to be fair, he named a player at each position. He named 12 players. He named Pat Mahomes as his quarterback, George Kittle at the tight end, Danielle Hunter as the pass rusher, TJ Watt more of an outside linebacker, Aaron Donald as the defensive tackle, Quentin Nelson at guard, Ronnie Stanley as a tackle, Saquon Barkley at the running back, Michael Thomas at the wide receiver, Tre'Davious White at the corner, Minkah Fitzpatrick at the safety, who ironically has already been traded, and Darius Leonard, the young linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts. So those were the 12 players he's named. And I think there's a number of reasons why the New York Giants should never let Saquon Barkley go, or at least until his old age. And then maybe that could change when he's 32, 33 years old. But I've talked about it all the time. And, I'm going to get into the reasoning that Gil Brandt had to bring up. But what's funny about this is anytime I go live, if you're on one of my live streams, it never fails. It happens at least once a live stream. Should the New York Giants trade Saquon Barkley? What could the New York Giants get What could the New York Giants get for Saquon Barkley? Would you trade Saquon Barkley for 2 first-round picks? Would you extend Saquon Barkley? Would you let him walk after his contract? So I get asked these questions all the time, and I always say, why would I ever want to let Saquon Barkley leave? To me, this guy's one of the 10 or 15 most talented players in the league. And last year, I know he had a disappointing year, but I think that Gil Brandt brings up some very good points as to what may have contributed to that. And I expect him to really bounce back this year and have a strong year. Now, I completely get the argument that running backs have short shelf lives, which is why even though not everybody on YouTube seems to agree, it's why I have been outspoken. If and only if Barkley has a strong year this year and proves he's healthy, I would look to extend him after 3 years. And I've given a very valid reason. It's a reason why every team does it. And it's not just running backs that are on good or bad teams. Christian McCaffrey was extended on a very bad Panthers team. They had the 7th pick this year in the draft. The reason being, running backs have a short shelf life. And if you wait till that rookie contract is up, well, then you're going to be paying them till 30 at a top-tier rate. Not to mention, the quicker you do it, conventional wisdom would tell you the less it would be. Now, of course, in today's economic environment with everything that's going on, we're not sure that the salary cap's going to go up. So if that's the case, maybe the New York Giants think twice. Maybe Saquon Barkley thinks twice, and he wants to wait until the market goes back up until he signs that extension, which could definitely be a factor. But it wouldn't even approach the topic until after this season, and I'm sure Barkley and the Giants will talk about it at season's end. But I think all Giants fans agree that barring injury, Saquon Barkley will be in the New York Giants' long-term plans. But I'll get into all the reasoning at the end of this video as to why I think he will be a lifetime Giant, at least through the prime of his career. But let's jump into some of the reasons that Gil Brandt had to say about why he thinks Saquon Barkley will be or should be a New York Giant for the rest of his career. Brandt went on to say about Barkley, after a strong rookie season, Barkley took a step back in 2019 because of injuries and the offensive inconsistencies that are part of working with a rookie quarterback. Well, Barkley should be healthy, and Daniel Jones is in year 2 now. With former Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett now serving as the Giants' offensive coordinator, it's easy to see Barkley thriving in the focal point role Ezekiel Elliott played for Garrett in Dallas. Barkley's commitment to training and strengthening his lower body will serve as a foundation for what should be a long NFL career. And I believe he will, in the end, justify his selection with the 2nd overall pick in 2018. So there was Gil Brandt's take on the matter, talking about Saquon Barkley. But for me, it goes well beyond all of that. To me, Saquon Barkley is a guy that you want to build this football team around, both as a player and as a leader off the field. He should be the face of the New York Giants for the foreseeable future, and you hope Daniel Jones, who's definitely taking steps to take that role as well, will be a leader right there along with him. But a guy like Saquon Barkley is going to make Daniel Jones' life a lot easier. Daniel Jones threw 21 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions in games in which Saquon Barkley played last year. He threw 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in games in which he did not. I did a video on that. But Barkley, to me, is the best running back in football, and he's a guy that the New York Giants should have in the long-term plans. You're not talking about an Odell Beckham-like athlete in terms of the distractions off the field, doing the cocaine parties, getting into fights with Josh Norman, the kicking, that, everything else. Barkley's not that type of guy. Barkley's a guy that New York Giants fans are going to grow to love. They're going to keep loving. And the other reason I'll talk about why I wouldn't look to trade him, you will never get near equal value for Saquon Barkley. You just won't. The running back position in the NFL is, in my opinion, devalued. Now, I'm not telling you that it's the most important position because it's not. It's not even close. But that being said, teams don't want to pay running backs $16, $17, $18, $19 million a year. It's very rare that you see teams wanting to do that. So if the New York Giants were to trade Barkley, you would have to factor that in. That team that was acquiring Barkley would then have to extend him for $18 million a year, whatever it's going to cost the New York Giants, which is why you wouldn't get the value that you think you would. When we took Saquon Barkley number 2 overall, Dave Gettleman made a commitment to keeping him, at least in my opinion, through his rookie contract, at least if he stays healthy. You cannot predict injuries. But Saquon Barkley will be with the New York Giants, and he will be here for a long time because the guy is a fantastic football player, and he's my favorite player on this team. I think he's going to be in consideration for the MVP award this year. Don't sleep on Saquon. And I thought it was a really good article written by Gil Brandt because I agree with it. I think he is one of the most untradeable players in the NFL. And I think the Giants may have a few other players that could be creeping up this list by year's end. A guy like Andrew Thomas, who I think a lot of us think will be a top 10 tackle in the NFL for a very long time. A guy like Daniel Jones, if he takes that big step forward in year 2. But I certainly agree that Barkley is one of the most untradeable and one of the guys that should definitely be kept for the longevity of his career with the New York Giants. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.